How does your media product represent particular social groups? Well, my media product represents particular social groups in various ways. However, these groups include gender, race, age, and disability. The social group of gender, our product represents this social group, or because of the fact that the victim is a female. It gives the impression that females are most vulnerable and cannot be left alone, because obviously our main character is a female and she is literally on her own. And then obviously the ghost spirit, she is also a female. So then again, it also shows that there is some power there as well to a woman, not just they are vulnerable. It gives the impression that females are the most vulnerable, as I said, and giving the type of stereotypical feel to the product. So what I mean by a stereotypical feel is a stereotype of a woman is a man always leads her way. She never does anything for herself. She never looks out for herself, and she's not allowed to. Whereas in ours, we've actually given the female the biggest part. She's got to do it all on her own. She's scared out of her mind, and she's not able to cope with it. However, she's being haunted by a female character, which is why we've really challenged this. Because obviously we didn't want a man haunting her, because we thought that would just be completely wrong. It doesn't seem right. So we kind of thought, have a female victim and then a female, like bad guy, villain sort of thing. So it's just like, we kind of thought that would be better than having two different genders. So that's why we kept with females, because obviously there is a stereotype of it, and then there's obviously the type that we've created or someone else has created. We intended the character to feel isolated, which was the main character, and nonetheless, how we filmed the shot and the different shots we use, this gave the appeal that females are less powerful and the stronger of the two genders, and the fact that the female is haunting her contradicts that point as well. Obviously, as I said before, a man is usually in possession over a woman. However, that's not the case in our product. Another social group that has been represented in our product is age. Age is represented by the character being haunted by a young teen, because obviously we didn't want it to be too old, because we thought if it'd be too old it wouldn't match the genre of horror we're going for, which is like supernatural, psychological. It just wasn't going to match it, so that's why we decided we didn't want to put a young adult, because we thought young adults, they kind of reached their time, so we kind of picked like teenage years, like just before young adults, because like that's like quite a good age to have in a movie, because obviously if you're going to do flashbacks, then you've got obviously the room to do it. Obviously she's been haunted as a young teen. This doesn't discriminate against having older characters. Nonetheless, we felt it was best to have a young character. This then gave the impression to the audience that she'd been haunted for the majority of her life. So, as I said, obviously, about her being haunted because she's younger, we thought it then gives the audience the impression that she's been haunted from a really young age. However, that's not exactly seen in the opening, so that's why you would need to obviously watch the rest of the movie to find out that she has been haunted her whole life. But it technically does represent age. But race was a social group that was not massively explored within our product either, so I can't really say much on that, and neither was disability, because both characters were completely able-bodied. Fair enough, the main character might have a mental disability, but the mental disability is only the fact that she can see the ghost character. So I don't think I would class that as a disability, but it's a psychological effect, so I'm not too sure if it can be classed as a disability, but I guess you could, because obviously, she's not thinking clearly, which is what you do when you're mentally unstable and things. So yeah, out of all the four main social groups, we did manage to cover at least half of them, which was what, obviously it wasn't massively intended, but we managed to do it. It would have been nice if we managed to kind of include race and disability, but that might have been a bit harder to get all of them in, so at least having half of them, it gave us a bit of variety.